Okay guys, today I want to talk about Google My Business or Google for Business or Google Business Profile or GMB. Whatever you call it, it's important. The hospitality industry has been through a difficult time with Google My Business, particularly if you are a short-term rental owner, because Google has a prerequisite that you need to be a certain type of business to qualify for a Google Business Profile. Okay. And if you don't qualify, it will just ban you. It will say you need to get verified and it won't allow you to be verified. So some of those prerequisites are that perhaps you are a bricks and mortar premises, like a high street shop where you're open to the public. Someone can walk inside and make an appointment, like, for example, a restaurant, hotel reception, a spa, a shop. They will all be pretty much guaranteed a Google Business Profile. As well, if you have a service area, so if you're a plumber or a pizza delivery guy or gal, and you deliver to a service area, the customers don't visit you at your bricks and mortar, but you deliver to them. And that is also a genuine reason for a Google Business Profile. Now, what happened with the explosion of Airbnb is that everybody wanted a Google Business Profile for their Airbnb, but actually it doesn't qualify. Now, I know why everyone wants it, because they've got a map pin and they can send that map pin to the client and say, this is where we are. And gets the client directly there. So unfortunately, if you have multiple apartments, houses that you rent out, they do not qualify for a Google Business Profile, but there is a way around it. So listen on. It's not perfect, but it's an answer. Now, I manage about 30 different profiles, all different types of businesses, and I'm going to show you some of them and sort of the pitfalls and that sort of thing as we go along, and the differences, because Google will allow you to have different functionality depending on the type of business you are. All right. So it's important to choose the right business, the right category when you're setting it up, so that you get the right functionality. If you try to choose the wrong business just to get verified, it won't last long. You'll just end up frustrating yourself, Google, and the customer. So don't even bother. I'll show you a couple of examples. So for example, I've just put in hotel in Bicester. It's near where I live. Got our sponsored ads. And then we've got our Google Business Profiles. So this is what it's called. It's sometimes called the Map Pack. And depending on the type of industry, there are other functions as well. So, for example, with hotels, it's pulling through some prices. And that is if you are on Google Vacation Rentals or Google for Hotels as well, if you're subscribed to that. But as a general business, you'll just be pulled through to the map area. So here's an example for me. I've just put Digital Marketing Agency Bicester, and they're the sponsored ones. And then we've got the map pack. So again, it shows a map of the area. There's me, I do come top, and there's my natural listing. Now, what you can see it's doing is customers believe that the one at the top is the best one. Now, obviously, in my case, it is true, and I have 55 five-star reviews to show it. But the one at the top is generally the one that's got the best optimized profile, not the one that's got the highest reviews. It's not like a ranking system like TripAdvisor, but customers think it is. So if it's optimized well and you keep using it and keep posting to it, you'll be rewarded and you'll rank higher. Okay. As well, if then the customer's scrolling down and they're seeing you in here, at the top of the fold of the page, you're reinforcing the message that, they've seen you twice by now. Yeah. So that's quite important. Let's have a little look then at some actual profiles. So that's obviously the map pack. And obviously you can scroll through to look at 170 different hotels. But the ideal is that you're in the top 3. Very difficult in a crowded environment, but it might be possible. Right, let's have a little look at the Google Business setup. Now, I think the first thing to say is you might not have a business yet. So again, with most things Google in Chrome, you go to the three dots there and go to Business Profile Manager. That's how you access it. If you haven't got a business at all, just literally type into Google, create a Google business profile, and you'll find it easy enough. Okay, let's move on. So this is actually a sort of, I'd say, static homes type business across eastern England, down the southeast. So that is allowed a Google business profile. And let's just have a little look at what they are. So they're in as a holiday home letting agency. Okay, so if you just put your profile as like holiday home, you're not going to get verified, but your primary category is the important one. If, for example, so this is what I was mentioning about your workaround, if you are a business that manages multiple Airbnb type properties, short-term rental, service accommodation, houses and apartments that are in different geographical locations, you will probably have to set yourself up as a property management company and then try to get reviews to that. That's not necessarily going to help in this type of situation where you're trying to get bookings, but it is still somewhere you can send some people to leave you reviews, and also you can then also attract other business owners that are looking to find a property management company. Okay, so there's your categories. You can edit the categories with the pencil, and you can add more. You can't make up your own categories. There is a set number of categories listed by Google. And lucky for you, you know me, and I have them all listed. There are hundreds of them, but you have to be specific and get the right one. So the link to this will be in the notes and in the document where all the shared links are. And if you're looking for your type of business or your category, you can click Control and F on the sheet, and it will say Control and F means find. It brings up this search bar. So we can start searching through here the different categories we might use. So let's say, for example, I'm just going to type in farm. And you see now I've got one of 29 results. But we can start going through these, and it will show different farms. And then there we go, camping farm. So if you're selling accommodation in the kind of glamping arena, because glamping doesn't show, but camping does, then we've got a category there. And then we've got campground. So, you know, if you're a glamping site, both of those would be appropriate for your Google business profile. What else have we got? Let's type in something broader. We'll just put in accommodation. So we've got 5 there. Serviced accommodation. Obviously, everybody is probably that's listening to this would be serviced accommodation. Pet-friendly accommodation, if you are. Group accommodation. Holiday accommodation service. Self-catering accommodation. Yeah, so all of those might be relevant to you. But again, if you're just trying to list a property, an individual Airbnb, and just put self-catering accommodation, it won't get past. It won't at all. And what they'll be looking to do is actually, as you're setting up a new business, they'll want you to verify yourself with a video verification. And that video verification involves a 2-minute video live. You can't kind of pre-record it and edit it. You've got to scan the QR code, film it and upload it straight away. And you have to include like street signs, permanent signage, proof of ownership, like unlocking the door, headed paper, company vehicle, that sort of thing to prove that you are. But if obviously you're just opening up a house, then you won't get verified. Anyway, use that search term to, or that search box to find the different types of accommodation that you are. So hotel, so capsule hotel. It's actually bizarre sometimes what you can find. Castle hotel, love hotel, conference hotel, luxury hotel, wellness hotel, extended stay, family, airport, yeah, boutique, hot springs, just hotel management school, hotel supplies, budget hotel, business hotel. So we've got a few different options there. Okay. Can we put in bed? Let's have a look. I'm thinking bed and breakfast now. Bed and breakfast. There we go. That's there as well. So, and if you are a hotel, what other categories can you offer? If you have a spa within the hotel, then you can choose spa. That's relevant. If you're a hotel with a spa and a restaurant, you can have restaurant as another category. Yeah, as long as it's relevant to you and your business. Now, what I did when I managed a hotel, I had a restaurant, spa and hotel. I set up 3 different Google business categories. So that's how to do that bit. And that's why it's quite important to get it right. And then you've obviously got your description. Keep it, I think you've got about 750 characters there. Keep it interesting, keep it succinct. Keywords, I don't think play a big part here. We're more about conversion rate optimization in this section. We're really just trying to get the customer to click on our profile. All right. And then as much stuff as you can get filled out, opening dates, telephone numbers. You can put your website in there. Now, interestingly, that has been set up with what's called a UTM source. So when we go to Google Analytics, we can see that the customer has definitely come from our Google business profile. And I will show you how to set that up. There are plenty of options out there. So basically you just put your domain and then we can put in here campaign source. So GMB profile. Campaign medium, we can leave that blank. Campaign name, GMB. Build URL. And now we have a link that we can add into here, which will then track how many people have clicked on that link. Yeah. Some different businesses allow you to have your social profiles in there. If you're a hotel, apparently they don't, but different categories allow different things. So this does, you're allowed to put your profiles in there. Obviously your location, moving the map pin and ensuring it's absolutely spot on. Now, if you're a business with multiple properties in different locations, it's a bit tricky here. So it's happened to me once where the owner's business was registered in one address. I think it was in Cornwall, but the actual property was at another address. Well, we just put in the sat nav and arrived at a place that was just half an hour different to where we were going. So it's important to get all this set up correctly. Right. Now, you're either a bricks and mortar, like I said, where someone comes to visit, a bed and breakfast, a hotel, a campsite, in which case you would just have your address. But if you're servicing a wider area, you can add in different towns, postcodes, counties, or whatever you like in there as well. That's your service area. Opening hours, don't be tempted to exaggerate them. It doesn't give you higher rankings. If you answer the phone till 8 o'clock at night, then put 8 o'clock at night. If it's 5 o'clock, put 5 o'clock. Special hours is about Christmas, New Year, that sort of thing. And this is just about like meal deliveries, meal service times if you do them. There are some other options in here. You can add like accessibility, women owned, different amenities, that sort of thing. But as much as you can fill out as you can is the better. And what else have we got in here? you can get reviews. That's the important bit. There's click on here, ask for reviews, and then just click this little copy button. You see it's review link copied. So that link there, if you send that in an email or in a social post and say, please leave me a link, please leave me a review, that then takes the user straight to the review section, and they will then have the option to leave you a review. Okay, so that's a handy little tip. What else have we got in here? We've got photos. You can add your interior and exterior photos. Yeah, add photos there, and you can just drag them in from your file, or you can. So if we're on images, I don't think I've got any in there, but you can just drag them over. Yeah, or you can just click select upload and find your images in there. And then you can categorize them as indoors, outdoors, that sort of thing. This bit here that says see outside, that's from Google Street View, when the Street View car has driven past. You can add an exterior photo. What else have we got? This is good. It shows your stats. So it's telling you sort of over the last 3-4 months, how many people have visited your profile, called you. This is not linked up with bookings. How many people clicked on directions, and again, stats on website links, clicks. So you can see the importance of it, and it all starts building that picture of where your traffic is coming from. So here's another tip for you. Right down here, you've got a question and answer section. There's nothing stopping you asking your own question. Okay, it's good practice. It won't be penalized by Google. So in here, create your own FAQ. So ask the question, do you accept pets? Then go and answer it yourself. Ask the question, are you closed? Are you open on Christmas Day? Then go and answer the question. Keep doing that and building up the bank of FAQs in here, and it's giving you more sort of land space on the customer screen, but also Google's going to reward you for actually using their, these functions, right? Now, what else can it do? It can, a bit like social media, you can add an update. Now, this is the most underutilized tool that exists. Okay, everyone's obsessed with Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, when Google gives you a free tool like this. Think about this. If you're going to post on social media, post it on here as well. This is a social media tool. Post an update, add a picture, add a description. You can add a link. You can add a call to action in there and post it. So it can be just an offer. It can be just a new property. It can be anything like that. Now, I think they disappear after 30 days, 60 days, something like that. But it's really worth doing every time you're doing it. There used to be the customer could message you directly. Now that facility went last month and beginning of this month, I think. So that's ended now. But, they'll just have to go to your website and ask questions there. In this section here, you've got 3 dots, business profile. If you click on the top one, people and access, you can then add other people and add them as managers or not. It's worth ensuring that there is not just you managing that, because if you get locked out of your email, you're locked out for good. Just have a husband, a wife, son, daughter, friend, add me if you like. Just add somebody else that can be your backup, that can access back in if you ever get locked out. All right, so that's pretty much Google Business. Let's have another look at any others and see if I can show some other ideas. So that's a restaurant that has some different options in there. Look, you can add links to to make a booking. You've got your bookings link in there, that sort of thing. So you can see you've got different facilities. You can add a menu in there. So all worth doing. That's a guest house in Newquay. Let's see if they've got anything different. I don't think they do. Ah, yeah, they've got the hotel details tab, so you can add different things, parking services, amenities. Yeah, so that's really worth going through. And that's what I'm saying earlier about ensuring you pick the right business, because it will give you different functionality for your business. Yeah, really important. Let's see if that one allows adding the social details. Yes, it does, as a guest house. So what's their main category? Guest house. Bar, hotel, bed and breakfast, service accommodation, non-smoking holiday home. So that's nicely completed. Answer reviews. Always answer your reviews. Be kind. If someone's negative, just put a nice spin on it. Thank them for their time. The best way to do it is to kind of reflect what the customer has said. Read back and sort of say, oh, thank you for mentioning the powerful shower and the fluffy towels. You know, most of our guests really appreciate that. So you kind of reflect in their tone of voice. And also, you've got lots of space to add a nice long reply. So the reply can give you some Google ranking. So it is worth putting keywords and stuff in there as well. So I really would, certainly location keywords and that sort of thing. That's really worth doing. But yeah, but have a good look around. Does your call button work? You know, does the direction button work? Is it going to the right place? Yeah. So they've obviously got set up with Google Vacation Rentals or Google Hotels, and you can actually see the prices here. It's got official website. So they're connected up. Right, I think that's all I need to show you on this section. Let me just have a quick look. Let's see if I can see any other businesses that might be important to demonstrate. Little Northfield is a glamping site. Let's see what they've got. Okay, so self-catering, camping cabin, not approved, holiday park, service accommodation. Okay. That's a service accommodation, but it's more like a hotel rather than Airbnb. So they do have the hotel button as well. Yeah, I did have some others, which that look like that. That's one of my other businesses that I've set up, but because I haven't got a bricks and mortar, because it's not a service area, it requires verification and it won't allow it. That's there. That one is an individual property set up by the business, and it won't allow it because it's an individual Airbnb type property, and it won't allow you to do it. So if you go through the get verified process, it will want you, it will do this, but it won't allow it. It will only eventually give you the business video option. So you just have to go through that process. But if it sees it's service accommodation, it will just reject it. So that's more like a property management company. Short-term apartment rental agency. Yeah. So that's the only way that type of business is getting past it. And I will say, if you start editing, if you're already verified and start editing and adding new categories, you're going to attract the attention of Google. And it's very possible In fact, I would say it's probably probable, 80% probable, that you might have to re-verify with video and proof of ownership of the business, which is not an easy process. So just be careful. All right. I hope you've enjoyed that. Have a look back at the spreadsheet. That should help. Proceed with caution. Google Business is powerful, but it's also a bit of a stickler, and it's not a big fan of all the different short-term rental accommodation type businesses that are trying to get verified. So be very careful with that. All right. So your best option as well is Google Vacation Rentals or Google Hotels and getting registered on there. All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.